Victor Hugo operated as a one-man literary empire, documenting and attempting to stabilize the most chaotic century in French history. This is the Quetzalcoatl definitive edition of his life's work. To see the scale of his output, you have to look at it architecturally. 48 physical volumes encompassing poetry, novels, philosophy, history, and political speeches. Mapping these volumes reveals a drastic ideological shift. He was the son of a conservative general and once received pensions from kings, but he eventually transitioned into a radical revolutionary, using his later works as Republican manifestos. Outside of his published books, his obsession extended to over 4,000 paintings, 20,000 love letters, and a series of detailed geopolitical prophecies. Understanding the moral foundations of the modern world requires stepping inside these collected works to see where Hugo the artist and Hugo the activist meet. The Allendorf edition of his work utilized a specific publishing strategy. It used dense visual illustrations to carry his literature to the newly literate working classes. Hugo researched Les Misérables with the precision of a journalist, creating a documentary-level record of the poverty and grime found in the 19th century Paris slums. He used empathetic characters to give a voice to the marginalized, forcing his readers to confront the reality of the lower classes. When Les Misérables was released internationally in 1862, it sold out in hours, creating a shockwave that reached from the streets of Paris to foreign parliaments. These dense novels functioned as sociological weapons, designed to expose and dismantle the class ignorance of the elite. In 1851, after opposing Napoleon III, Hugo was banished from France. He spent 15 years exiled at Hauteville House on the island of Guernsey. During this isolation, his creative output shifted. He produced over 4,000 ink drawings, focusing on dark, abstract visions that explored light and shadow. He used unorthodox materials like coffee, soot, and matchsticks to create these images, bypassing traditional art techniques to record his subconscious impressions. From this isolated island, he continued to write his most defiant works, including the final sections of Les Misérables and his account of the Emperor's coup, The History of a Crime. Banishment failed to silence him. His isolation turned his creative focus into a direct critique of the corruption within the French Empire. In the collection Actes et Paroles, or Deeds and Words, we leave the novels behind and find the record of Hugo's actual political career. During public speeches in 1849 and 1855, he explicitly predicted the eventual creation of a United States of Europe. He went as far as proposing a single continental currency backed by European capital. His 1855 proposal preceded the actual launch of the euro by 144 years. He also led political campaigns across Europe demanding the complete abolition of the death penalty. Hugo left behind a highly accurate framework for a unified, peaceful European continent. When Hugo died in 1885, over 2 million people joined his funeral procession, which passed beneath the Arc de Triomphe on its way to his final burial. His death sparked an immediate international effort to translate his work, carrying his ideas far beyond France. In the early 20th century, Chinese intellectuals like Lu Xun used translations of Hugo's essays to advocate for the rights of the oppressed during their own revolutionary periods. This work was sustained by translators like Li Dan and Fang Yu, who spent decades completing a definitive Chinese translation of Les Misérables despite significant political upheaval. The global persistence of these texts shows that Hugo's writing provided a practical vocabulary for those challenging social inequality and tyranny. Today, Hugo is buried in the Pantheon, the resting place for France's most influential citizens. He remains a defining figure of the 19th century, who dedicated his life to defending human rights and the power of the written word.